Heat fans, we got challenged by the Bulls report. I hate it, but they challenged us to a sub battle on one video. To one video sub battle. They got 41. Good number. I can't even lie. Can we beat them and get 42 on today's show? We're going to talk about every single player on the Heat's roster and what my concern level for them is. But make sure you are subscribed to the show because we bring you videos every single day and we can't lose to the Bulls report. I am Nic Rohloff. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports. And on today's show, I wanted to come up with this little fun segment here where I wanted to go through every single player on the Miami Heat's roster and overall give my concern for them entering this upcoming year and kind of let you guys know at home where I believe they need to improve on this offseason as we get into this upcoming year. I will say we only did the top 12. I did not talk about Kel'el Larson or Thomas Bryant because I do not think those two guys will really get a lot of run this year for Miami. 14 players on the roster, only 12 of them I think are going to get minutes throughout the season. We'll start with Kevin Love. The concern with Kevin, can he put together a full season and defend at his age? Because he actually was really good for Miami 1 year ago as the backup center to Bam Adebayo. He was able to knock down 35% of his threes, and he did a lot of good stuff on the rebounding factor. And when they paired up Bam and Kevin together, they were actually pretty effective in my eyes. But Kevin Love faltered down the stretch of the season, battling injuries, and you really saw there in the series against the Celtics, he just could not get on the court because he was so bad defensively. It's just a matter of his age, and I don't think he's going to be able to play in big-time games or moments because of his defensive liabilities. Let's move over to Josh Richardson now. My concern with J-Rich, can he get back to be a defensive-led role? I feel like last season was either a reality check for me or not, but I remember Josh Richardson as someone who can play good defense on the perimeter, knock down some shots, and last year it was only offense. He was one of the worst defenders on the perimeter with this team, and it was disappointing, man. He got blown by a bunch of times. The Heat gave him some tough assignments, and he just was not able to respond to that call. He did shoot 40% from three in the final month of the season before he ended up getting hurt in late January. So I like what he can potentially bring offensively in terms of being a ball handler, but also a three-point shooter. But if he wants to carve out a more large role, I guess, for this Heat team, he needs to go back to being a defensive-minded player because they have shooting with Alec Burks, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, Terry Rozier, and some other players on this team. Let's move over to one of those shooters, Alec Burks. My concern with Alec is, can he provide something more than Duncan Robinson? And it's not more of a concern as him as a player, but just when you look at this Heat's roster, like, what is stopping them from playing just Duncan and having Alec Burks ride the bench? Like, Alec Burks is going to have to provide something to this Heat team that Duncan Robinson does not. I think Burks and Duncan are very equal shooters. They both shoot above 40% from beyond the arc when they're right. Alec Burks is more of a, I guess, all-around scorer. Like, he's more consistent getting to the rim and finishing in the mid-range area than Duncan is. But if Burks is just going to be a different version of Duncan Robinson in terms of his offensive play style, how is he going to find minutes if Duncan's doing it a little bit better? Burks is going to have to be the better defensive guard between the two if he wants to have a role on this Heat team. This is more in general, not for the players that we're talking about today, but let me know what your biggest concern is for the Miami Heat in general. It could go a lot of different ways, but if you had to put one thing down in the comments section, put it down. What's your biggest concern with the Miami Heat? Let's move over to the talented rookie Kel'el Ware, who the Heat's drafted with the 15th overall pick. My concern with him, and it's been this for a while, is he able to transition to NBA physicality early, and can he adjust? I think he's got all of the talent in the world. He's got a 7-foot frame with 7'4.5" wingspan. It's absolutely incredible. He's one of the best rim protecting centers coming into the NBA as a rookie. And we all are very high on his ability to be the long-term center for the Heat and move Bam Adebayo to the 4 because both of them are improving as three-point shooters. And Ware shot it at 42% from three at Indiana. Granted, it was just about 1.5 attempts a game. But Ware is so thin, he needs to probably gain 15 to 20 pounds of pure muscle to be able to fight with other centers in the NBA. Like, I'm just thinking, what if Kel'el Ware had to defend Jonas Valanciunas or Steven Adams? It would be a disaster because of how strong and physical those two are. Now, granted, those two are some of the most physical guys in the NBA, but if he gets taken into the low block by a physical guy or someone drives inside on him, like his length might be kind of thrown to the side due to the fact that he's just getting bounced out of the way because he's not strong enough. But if he's able to get physical and adjust to the physicality and hold his ground, then I think Kel'el Ware is going to be a good ball player. Let's move over to Duncan Robinson here. My concern with him is last year a fluke? Is that back cooked? Because he has actually had problems staying healthy as well. He's always had nagging injuries in the past, and last year his season got cut a little bit short and wasn't able to play against the Boston Celtics due to a back injury. And I am concerned that it's going to linger because back injuries are not anything that you should be playing with. And if you are thinking back injuries are nothing, well, go ask Ben Simmons how his back has been treating him for the past 2 or 3 seasons. But when you think of Duncan, when I say was last year a fluke, because the first 3 years of his career as a role player for Miami were exceptional. In 2019, 2020, when he was flashing out of the scene, was proclaimed the best shooter in the NBA, not named Steph Curry by myself. He was incredible. And then came back, still had a good year in 2020, 2021, 40.8% from three. Then is when that went a little bit downhill. Kind of dipped a little bit in his efficiency, only shooting 37.2% in 21-22. And then the following year in 22-23 is when his spot got taken by Max Strus. He couldn't get on the floor. And when he was on the floor, he was missing shots, could not defend. You see the number on screen, only shooting 33% from three. It was terrible. But then he bounced back last year in a big way, and it was a revelation for Miami because no one expected him to have a big rotation spot for the Heat, but he did because of how well he was able to shoot from beyond the arc once again. So if he's able to do that again, I feel good about Duncan as long as that back can stay healthy. But was last year just a fluke, and he's going to revert back to his 22-23 season? I certainly hope not. More players to talk about here on the show, but make sure you are started with Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app and platform out there. I use Prize Picks on a daily basis. You should too. And they're offering you a first deposit match up to $100 when you download the app and use code CLNS. I love playing Prize Picks every single day due to the different ways I can play it every day. I can go into any sports league I want, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, golf. It does not matter. You can play daily fantasy sports in any different league. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. They're also very friendly in terms of giving away some lesser stat totals. You saw it on screen just a second ago. Israel Adesanya, half a significant strike. You can get a free square there by taking the more than, pair it up with any of your other favorite picks, whether it be season-long projections like Tua, touchdown passes, Bam rebounds, or you can go with current games happening right now with preseason football getting underway. Pick anything you want. It's so much fun to play. It's the easiest way to play daily fantasy sports, and it makes watching the game so much more fun. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, let's get into Haywood Highsmith now. And my biggest concern with Haywood after he re-signed with Miami on a 2-year deal, is he able to provide anything for this Heat team that he didn't provide last year? Or that, I might have said that backwards. Can he provide something that he didn't provide last year? I don't know if I said that right the first time or the second time, but either way, what is Haywood known for? Being able to knock down open catch-and-shoot three-pointers and being a lockdown defender. Is he going to improve, or is he just going to be the same exact player? Because the Heat are paying him to improve a little bit. And what am I talking about? Whenever the ball gets in his hands and he has to put it on the deck, I get worried because it ultimately leads to a turnover or a bad decision. If Haywood's able to be a more decisive decision maker with the ball in his hands, whether it be driving to the rim, drawing a defender, kicking it out, driving to the rim and finishing, or playmaking for others, it does not matter. But he needs to show me something more than hitting an open three-pointer and playing defense. I like to see some improvement from Haywood Highsmith. Nikola Jovic next up here. My concern with my sweet Prince Jov. Can he provide enough defensive value to finish games for Miami? Because if you watched our Death Lineup video a couple days ago, Jovic wasn't in the Final Five group. But I do believe he's going to be a starter. And I like what Jovic is doing in terms of getting better every single year. And I think he got better game after game after game a season ago, showcasing his 40% three-point shot, getting to rim. We know how good he is in transition. But I need to see more defense. And it's the reason why he wasn't able to get on the floor earlier for the Heat after his rookie season, is because he doesn't play good enough defense. And he got better defensively as the year went on, but is he able to take another leap here to where we can trust Jovic and Bam to guard the interior of that Heat defense? It's the biggest question with Jov, because the talent is there offensively in terms of his finishing, his playmaking, his three-point shooting. But can he be trusted by Erik Spoelstra to be solid on the defensive end to close games for Miami? That is the biggest question for Nikola Jovic entering his third year for the Heat. Jaime Jaquez Jr. up next here. Did he improve enough as a shooter this offseason to play alongside Jimmy Butler? Now, I do think Jaquez can play alongside Jimmy even if he didn't improve as a three-point shooter, but that's the next step for him, right? He averaged 12 points a game last year. He was terrific on both sides of the floor for Miami. But the next step of his evolution is becoming a better three-point shooter. Only shot at 32% last year. Like, it was not good. And that's kind of where teams and defenses would push the Heat's offense. They would say, Bam, Jimmy, you're not getting to the rim. We're going to send a double or show two bodies inside, force you kick it out to Jaquez, and dare him to make a three. He was unable to do that many times. But can he get better at that shooting? And specifically, I wanted to take a look at the Jimmy Butler and Jaime Jaquez Jr. duo because it actually was better than I expected. I did think it was going to be worse than this due to the fact that Jaquez isn't that good of a spacer on the offensive end, but these two, when they played together in 729 minutes, actually had really good numbers. Offensive rating of 119, which is terrific. 108 defensive rating, which is very good as well, which netted them a rating of 11, which is very, very positive. I like Jaime Jaquez Jr. a lot. I think he's going to probably be fifth or fourth in minutes played for this Heat team this upcoming season. But I do want to see a three-point improvement from him because 32% is not going to cut it for the long term here in Miami. Jaquez is going to see a lot of minutes this year, but will he start for the Heat? Now, I project the starting lineup to be Rozier, Herro, Jimmy, Jovic, and Bam, but should Jaquez or will Jaquez be in that first five? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Let's talk about Terry Rozier now. This one's interesting. My concern with Terry, can he be better defensively to be more efficient alongside Tyler Herro? Because I don't think those two can play together. I've mentioned it in a couple different videos now over the past week. I just believe when you have two players like Terry and Tyler who are not really creators and they look for their shot first, but also struggle at finishing in the restricted area around the rim and are very negative defenders, I don't know how you can play those two together in big-time moments and be okay with that. So if Rozier can get better to being a better on-ball defender and point-of-attack guy, like he's got the athleticism and lateral quickness to do it. He's got the wingspan to kind of get his hands in the passing lanes and steal some balls as well because he's got a 6'8" wingspan after only being 6'2.5". Like, he's got a really good plus wingspan. Can he be better defensively? We're not asking you to be a shot chucker in Charlotte. Can you be an efficient point guard for the Heat where we can get 15 points a game, but you be better defensively? That's my concern with Terry. Which also bleeds into my concern with Tyler Herro. Obviously, the number one concern with Tyler is can he put together a fully healthy season? Because he's just not been able to do that in his career. I don't think he's ever amassed more than 65 games played in a season. He's definitely never reached 70 games. That is my goal for Herro this year. Can you be someone that the Heat can trust to be on the floor this season for the majority of the regular season? Give me 70 games plus played, Tyler Herro. I am begging you. But also those same questions I asked with Tyler or Terry Rozier are there for Tyler Herro because I don't think those two can play together. I think Rozier projects as a better on-ball defender. Herro improved a little bit on his off-ball defensive value last season. I'd like to see another improvement from Tyler defensively, and I'd like to see him stay healthy because he was not able to do it last year. Bam Adebayo. Kind of hard, and I'm getting nitpicky with these next two guys, Jimmy and Bam, because they are very, very good, and there's not a lot to be concerned about with them. Is the three-point improvement fake for Bam? Like, we saw it come together at the end of last season, and we've seen him shoot some threes for Team USA. Will he be able to weaponize that three-point shot Is it real? Can he actually threaten defenses? And will he be aggressive offensively? Because that's the only thing that is really concerning to me when it comes to Bam, is that he's sometimes not aggressive on the offensive end. He should realistically be 1 or 2 in shots taken per game for the Heat, and it's usually not the case. Can he be in that top 2? All right, last one we'll talk about here, Jimmy Butler. And this one's pretty simple. Will Jimmy Butler put forth legit effort in the regular season and stay healthy? It's been the thing with Jimmy for the past 3 seasons, that he doesn't try to his maximum effort every single regular season game. And he clearly is someone who can't stay healthy because he has never played in 65 games or more for the Miami Heat. So if he's able to stay healthy and give us good effort throughout the regular season, I'm going to feel confident about Jimmy Butler having one of his best, if not his best, regular season as a member of the Miami Heat. But that concern is pretty obvious if you're a Heat fan. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. As I mentioned off the top, the Bulls challenged us. I don't want to lose. I want to continue to take down other chat sports channels here that we have. We need 42 subscribers. If you are watching this portion of the video and you are not subscribed, you clearly like what we do here, because you wouldn't be watching this long video if you didn't like this at least a little bit. So hit that sub button. I promise you won't regret it, and let's take down Chicago.